Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we are covering the mobile app advanced webinar. This webinar will cover the work queue, creating new appointments, checklists, proposals and invoices, maintenance plans, purchase orders, and review requests. We will do a live Q&A at the end where you'll be able to get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, let's go ahead and start with our very first topic, which is how to download the app. And let's show you that. So the WEX FSM mobile app is called WEX Field Service Management. That is what you will search for in your app store. So I'm holding my phone or, my iPad, my tablet, whatever mobile device you have. Go to the app store that you would download any other app on your phone, and then type in WEX Field Service Management. Download that. Once you have that downloaded, you will use your WEX FSM login that you normally would use to log in and use the app. Now, once you have the app downloaded, it'll be a little red icon. You'll tap on the app. It will open up. It will ask you to log in. You'll log into the app. And then once you're logged in, you will be brought to the jobs page. On the jobs page, the first thing you'll notice is your daily time is at the top. Now, there are two time clocks in the system. There's a daily time, which is going to track your entire day. And there is a job time clock that will track time on the job. Now, for some of my customers, they use the time clocks heavily and rely on them. For some of my other customers, they don't use this for clocking in. Maybe there are timesheets that you're using. So you don't have to use these if you don't want to, but if you do, a scenario for using the daily time clock would be I show up to work, I'm ready to start my day, and I will clock in. That will start the daily time clock, and then typically I let that run. I'm going to work through my appointments. Maybe when it's lunchtime, I will clock out. Come back from lunch, ready to start my work block again. I will clock in. And then I get to the end of the day. I've done all my jobs. I'm ready to go home. I will clock out. Those timestamps will be recorded in the system. And if your office needs to, they would go and look at the time clock reporting, be able to see those timestamps there. Next is the day selector. So it will automatically set you to today's date when you're looking at your schedule. We can see I have some appointments below. And if I want to go to a different day, I would tap on the little arrow here and select a different day. The current day is highlighted in blue. So if you want to go back to today's date, you just tap the blue and hit done. Next, if you want to create a new appointment from scratch, I know some teams, you just run the jobs that are on your schedule. For other teams, you may be creating your own appointments and communicating with customers directly. If for whatever reason you need to create a new appointment from the field, you will tap on the right side here, new appointment. Add appointment is a customer appointment. So you will click add appointment. Select your customer. Now, if they are in your system, the customer that you're working with, you'll just type their name and they'll show up. If they're not in your system, you can click new add them as a new customer, which will add them to your customer list, and then continue on with creating the appointment. For today, we're going to choose Mary Smith as our customer, and then you can schedule now or create a service request. Schedule now means that you know the date, the time, the technician. You are ready to schedule this and put it on the dispatch board. Create a service request, that is going to be if you are not sure the date you're going to go out there. Maybe you're not sure the time or which technician is going to run the job. This is going to create a draft appointment that will go in the work queue, and then you can assign that later. For today's example, let's go ahead and schedule now. And then you just fill out the information. Where are we going? Job location. Is this a new job or is this a callback? And so if you are going to a job you've already done previously, you would want to hit this new and then select the previous job that this relates to. For today, we'll do a new job. You can enter in a job name. That's kind of what you would be doing. Let's say, no AC. That's a service call. And then down below, you can select your technicians. If you need to add an additional technician, you would hit the plus button. That will add an additional tech. And then you just select whoever else is going to go on that job. When you save this, it will put that appointment on both or all technicians that are added here. If you want to delete a technician, you simply click the trash can icon. And then down below, we have notes. And so if I tap on notes, that's typically like what needs to happen on this job. No air blowing. Go check it out. And click save to save your note. So once you have all your information in for the new appointment that you're creating, in the very top right, you will tap save. And there we go. We can see now on my schedule, since I did assign it to myself, it's on the page here. Under my appointments, this is going to be your appointments for the day. This is typically what your work day will be. You will show up, you'll look at this and go, okay, cool. Here are all the things I need to do. It will show you the customer name, the time you need to go out, what the job is called. So this one's a service call, this one's an install. If there are any tags that have been added, you'll see those here. So this one's just a reminder, hey, bring the 12-foot ladder. And then you can quickly call, text, or get GPS directions with these little quick action icons here. Tapping on call will allow you to call the customer. You'll just use your device if you have the capabilities to call out from your device. It'll allow you to just call out directly from here to the customer. Text messaging, same thing. You can text from here. We do have two-way texting. If you are going to text your customers, up in the very top right, we have a two-way texting area, and that's where you'll see all of your messages. And at the bottom, we have the work queue. And so what you're seeing here, these appointments have officially been scheduled and assigned to you. So these are the jobs you need to do. The work queue, these are draft appointments. That's kind of what we were mentioning earlier. If I go into the work queue, I can see service requests and unassigned appointments. Service requests, you don't know the date, you don't know the time, you don't know the technician. There's not as much information, or you don't have all the information needed to schedule. Unassigned appointment is going to be, you know the date, you know the time, last piece of the puzzle is determining the technician. Now, one way that this is used by some of my customers is you would set up the appointments and just leave them unassigned. And then as a technician in the field, I can come in and assign this to myself, basically pulling it from the work queue and adding it to my schedule. If you would like to do this, you will simply tap on the appointment and then assign the technician. So let's say primary tech, I'm going to click. Let's search for myself. Hit OK. All right, I'm assigning this to myself, and then I will hit save. And there we go. So work queue, great place to put draft appointments and be able to assign them very easily from here. As a pro tip, if you're on a page and you want to go back to your previous page, you will tap the arrow in the top left. All right, so we know where our appointments are. We're ready to start our job. Let's work one of these jobs together. So I've got my customer, Justin Hernandez here. This is a service call. We're going to tap on the appointment, and that will bring us to the appointment page, which essentially is the job page. This is where you will see everything relating to this job. At the top, we have your job time clock. That's the second time clock, and this is for tracking time on the job. This is also a great way to communicate with the office on where you're at in the job. Scenario, I'm sitting in the truck. I'm ready to start going out to Justin for this service call, and I will simply tap idle and select on my way. That is going to send a message to the customer letting them know you're on the way. And then it starts the time clock. So now we have a timestamp for when this job started. Drive out. You can use the Google image here to cross-reference, am I in the right place? And then once you get to the job, you will tap this again and hit check-in. That is just an indicator for the office to let them know that you are now at the job doing the work. And again, if you want to use this, excellent. If not, you do not have to use this feature. When you are done with the job, you will come in and be able to mark this as complete. You just tap that same button and hit checkout. Is this appointment complete? Yes. And now that will be marked as complete. And if anyone goes into this job, whether that is on mobile or from the desktop, they'll be able to see the appointment has been completed, but the job will stay open, like the job in total will stay open until a invoice is created and a payment is made, officially completing the job. Underneath that, we have appointment details. Now, this is not fully obvious to do. So just a pro tip. If you need to make any edits to today's appointment, you will tap here in the customer detail area, and that will open the appointment details. From here, you can edit any of the details that you need. Maybe you want to assign another technician to come out and help for the day. You can update the notes right here. You can even cancel or unschedule. If you need, you show up, customer's not there, you can just tap into the details and reschedule that to a different date. We will hit the back button here. Then your initial call note, that will be what you need to do on the job. This is typically whoever took this appointment and put it on the schedule. They're writing what they hear from the customer, what needs to be done on the job. Now, down below, we have a bunch of different tools that you may or may not use. It depends on the job and the type of work that you do. And we're going to go over a couple of these. But first, we have some quick actions that you can use, and those are in the very top right. So when you're on the appointment, go to the top right, tap the three dots, and excuse me for just a second. There was something in my throat. You can add a note, create an invoice instantly, add a flag. Flag for follow-up. This is if there's anything left to do on the job, you will want to put a flag on it so the rest of your team knows, hey, there's more to do. There's a follow-up for this. You can create a new appointment from here, similar to what we just did earlier. If you're running late, you can send a running late notification to the customer. You can process a payment and you can upload a photo. And those are just some quick actions to instantly do things. Down below, we have calls and notes. This is going to be if you are a note taker, you like to write stuff down about the job. Click on calls and notes. Any previous notes that were added, you'll see in here. And if you want to create a new note, you just hit new. Appointment note and type in what you need. If your device has the ability to use your microphone to do speech to text, you can do that here. You would just click in, your keyboard will show up, and there's a little microphone. You tap on that, you start talking, and it'll start typing for you. Now, that's not a WEX FSM feature. That would be a feature of your device, but it will work with WEX FSM. All right, taking a step back here. Now, let me take a look at my notes. All right. Oh, we're doing great on time. So, checklists. If you are using checklists, you will tap checklists. Any checklist templates that have been created in your system, you will be able to choose from. Click New to add a new checklist, and all of your checklists will be in here. Now, keep in mind that this is something that will need to be set up. So if you have not set up any checklists, you won't see any here. But as long as you have at least one checklist in here, you can select it and hit create. That will use that template to create a new checklist for this appointment. And then you just follow what the checklist is asking of you. If it is required for you to finish a checklist before you can finish the appointment, you will need to enter in the completed by at the bottom and fill out and address everything in the checklist. If there's something that's not applicable, you can just skip it, but at least it has been looked at. And then when you're done, you'll hit save. The checklist will be marked as complete, and you will be able to continue forward with completing the appointment. Let's take a step back here. For next is talking about proposals. And we're going to do proposals and invoices. But if you are out on a job and you need to provide an estimate for your customer, you will click into proposals, tap new to create a new proposal, And you have a couple options here, and this is the same for proposals and invoices. You can create a new proposal from scratch, or you can copy from existing. And just to give you an example of this, copy from existing is going to allow you to see all of your favorite proposals first. So if you have a proposal that you know you want to copy in the future, I would mark it as a favorite. That will show up when you click copy, and you can uncheck favorites simply by tapping on it, and that will show you every proposal in your entire system. Once you find the proposal that you want, maybe I know today is a service call, so I want to look for my, general proposal. And so I would click on that. That will copy everything from that previous proposal over, but make it unique and new for the new customer. It'll put their customer information in, and then that can save you time. Copying proposals and invoices saves you time from having to build it from scratch. For today's example, we're going to tap New and choose a new proposal. Now, this will start you in a build mode. When you first open a new job form like this, you'll need to build it out. At the very top, you have your customer information. If we tap on that, that is where you will be able to see the proposal name. This is where you can mark as a favorite. I know that this is something that I want to copy in the future, let's say. Mark that as a favorite here. You can reassign the technician. Contract terms are here. Billing and proposal locations. And if you are using different pricing strategies, let's say you have like a friends and family discount that's set up in your system, you can you can tap pricing strategy here and update the pricing. So, if there's a 25% discount for friends and family, I hit OK. That will then apply 25% off items I add to the proposal. All right. Any changes that you make sure you hit save in the top right. So now it is time to access our price book and build out the proposal. To do this, you will tap items. From here, this may look slightly different, or really it'll look the same. You may have less or more price books in here, but price book everyone has. That is your integrated WEX FSM price book. Flat rate is if you have the Profit Rhino flat rate subscription, which is great. This is an entire flat rate catalog of products that you can use to sell to your customers. And then QuickBooks will be your QuickBooks item list from QuickBooks if you're syncing to QuickBooks. If you're not syncing to QuickBooks, you won't have the item list. If you don't have Profit Rhino as a subscription, you won't see the flat rate here, but everybody will have Price Book. And then using this is very simple. I can either search for what I'm looking for. Maybe I need a general part. Type in what you need. It'll use those key terms to search. If you find what you're looking for, you can click the plus button to add quantity. You can add as many quantity as you want. Hit subtract to subtract quantity. And what happens when I add this, it will add it to a queue. So we're basically going shopping. We got our part, we've added that. If I want to add labor, let's say, I could search. I could also just look through my folders. So the way you organize your price book, this is how you will see it here. And we're going to just go to General. and service, and then we're going to add some labor. Let's say that today we're going to quote them that this will take 2 hours. As I'm adding multiple items from different folders, you will see those add up in the bottom here. So I've selected 3 items so far, six for $670 total. If I tap the arrow here, there's a little arrow at the bottom. That will allow me to see what is in my cart, and then I will hit add. And that will add those items to the proposal. Now that we have items added, you can reposition them if you want them in a different order. You just tap and drag with your finger. And then if you need to make if you want to turn one of these into a recommended item, you will slide your finger to the right and tap recommended. And so sliding actions, that is something that is available. Whenever you want to use a sliding action, you literally just slide your finger across and that will reveal an option. So there's quite a few places where this happens. If you slide your finger to the left, that will allow you to delete the item. And so let's say we want to add a recommended item specifically. I will do the same thing as adding a normal item. We'll just go into the price book. Let's say I need a filter. I want to try to sell a filter replacement. Let's just use this Honeywell filter here. Tap on plus and hit add. And then we'll swipe over, slide our finger to the right, and tap recommend. That will put it in the recommended items section. So, today we're proposing this service to you, and we do recommend, this filter replacement as well. Now, once you are done with adding products, which you're pulling from the price book, you may also want to consider offering financing or offering maintenance plans. And just quickly going through these, offering financing, the thing to know about that is financing is only available on proposals. So if you want to add financing to a job, typically financing is used for really big ticket jobs. And you would do an estimate first. Anyway, to add financing, it's very simple. As long as financing is set up in your system, you would tap that add financing and then select the plan. It will show the amount to finance based off of your proposal that you're creating. And then it's thinking real hard about it. Let me refresh. Oh, I need to go back to my link. Give me just a second here. Okay. My computer, I think, is freezing. Give me just a second. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right, we're back in. Let's go back to Justin. Let's go back to our proposal. And let's get back into it. All right. So with offering financing, you will select the plan. it'll be the amount to finance will be from the proposal that you're creating, and then you would hit save. After that, if the customer decides that they want to continue forward with applying for the financing application, you would just click apply now. And that would then run the customer through whichever lender's application you selected for the loan. Offering maintenance plans. If you tap on offer maintenance plan, that will allow you to add a maintenance plan to this. And you would simply select the plan, and then that will add it. Let's say we're going to add the Comfort Club plan. That will first add it as a recommended item, but if the customer is ready to sign up, you would then tap sign up and then run through the options. This is the contract, the start date, the price that they're going to pay. If you want to give credit to the sales agent who sold it, select that from here. Grab a signature from the customer that they agree they are getting into a binding contract with you for the maintenance plan, and hit next. Set up your service windows. This is the time frames that you'll go out and actually perform the services. Hit next. This is who you're going to contact to schedule the service when it's time. And then payment is where do you want them to pay? On proposal, we'll add the maintenance plan to the proposal. And when you convert that proposal to an invoice, they'll be able to pay directly from the invoice. You can set up a payment plan if you want. And not now is really only if you do not want them to pay and now, and then you can go back and assign a payment to it later. We'll go ahead and add it to the proposal today, though. When you are ready, tap save. And there you go. We can see the Comfort Club plan, which is the maintenance plan, has been added to the proposal. If you need to update the tax group right here where it says taxes, you just click on that, and then you can update the taxes that you're charging. Now it will automatically pull the taxes based on the zip code, but if you, let's say this is a school and you want to offer them 0% finance, or sorry, 0% taxes, just select that here and hit OK. All right, so we've added our items. We've talked about updating taxes, offering financing, adding maintenance plan, setting recommended items. The notes here, these are customer facing. So if you're going to put notes in here, just know when you send this proposal to the customer, they're going to see those notes. Now it's time to present. So we will tap present proposal. You can either turn this around and show this to your customer. You can view PDF, which will just show the PDF version of this. You can send this to your customer. They can review the proposal online and accept it. And when they accept it, the office will be notified. And if the customer is standing there with you and they say, yeah, this looks great, let's go ahead and do it, you can convert to invoice right here after you finish the job. And so let's convert to invoice. Let's follow through on this process. We've got our estimate and we're ready for the customer to pay. So we will convert to invoice. That will save the proposal. So you have a record of that. And then it has now converted and created a new invoice with all of the information from the proposal. And now we are on the invoice. So this is where you take payment. If you were building the invoice from scratch, you would use the same process that we used on the proposal. Those processes are the same. Update the job form details here, add products by hitting add items, offer a maintenance plan from here, and then invoice notes are customer facing. Now that we have the invoice, typically if you do a proposal and you're converting to an invoice, you're not needing to make any changes, but you can update the invoice if you need to. And when you're ready, you can present invoice to the customer. And there's a couple options here for taking payment. This will be based on your company and how you want to do this, but process payment will process through WEX FSM, and that will be sent to your bank account. That's like, processing. If you have card swipers, you would swipe a card. You can manually enter card information, but that will process and send the money to your bank account. Record payment is if you are just needing to record that a payment was made, but you are processing outside of WEX FSM. An example of this would be like if you're taking a cash payment, you wouldn't do process payment. You would do record payment because you still need to take that cash to the bank to get it into your account. View PDF will just show you a PDF version of this invoice, and you can send invoice to the customer. They can review the invoice. They can make a payment directly from their device. For today's example, let's record a payment. And when taking a payment, it will automatically have the invoice that you are working on here. You can select to make a payment towards other invoices if you want, but we will just pay for today's invoice. Click Next. Choose your payment type. Let's say that they're paying with a check today. Enter the check number and record payment. All right. Once you have completed that, let's go back to invoices. We can see here's our invoice. It's marked as paid. It is closed. And a couple options here on the invoices page. If I slide my finger to the right, you can quickly send, view PDF, process a payment, or record a payment. If I slide my finger to the left, I can delete the invoice. If I need to make an edit to a paid invoice, I can tap where it says closed. Just tap on that blue text and set it to open draft. Add notes, maybe, whatever adjustments you need. When you're done, you can come back to here and put it back to the status it was originally at. All right. And so now let's quickly go over comparisons and purchase orders, and then we'll get into our Q&A. So going back, we're on the job. And proposal comparisons, the way that this works, think of this as a tool that is pulling in individual proposals and putting those together so you can then show those to your customer in a clean, easy to see format. If you're going to use proposal comparisons, you will need to create the individual proposals first. Build them out. These are my offerings. These are the different options. And then the proposal comparison tool, all you'll do for that is tap proposal comparisons, hit new, select proposals to compare. It'll show all your favorites. If you uncheck favorites, it'll show you all of your proposals in your system. And basically, you just want to select, let's say we're doing a furnace install. We would choose, here's our good option, here's our better option, here's our best option. Once you have all the proposals selected, hit create. And then you can edit this as needed. You can change what these say. You can update the colors of these boxes here and make any edits that you need, and then hit present proposal comparison. And this will showcase the different options for your customer. You'll just tap at the top here on these different tabs to show the different options. And all of this info, the image, the product info, anything you have added to the original proposal will show up here when comparing. Let's take a step back. And then for purchase orders, you can order parts from the field if you have your suppliers set up in your system. So purchase orders, similar to proposals and invoices, you will tap New, create a new job PO, and then just choose your supplier. Let's say we're going to order from Wilson Supply, hit OK. Do you want to pick it up or do you want it delivered to you? Let's say we'll drive over there today, hit create. And now, similar to the price book, you're just adding items from your supplier catalog. We'll tap items, look for what we want. Let's say we're going to order this part and this, hit add. And there we go. This is the PO. We will just send the purchase order to the supplier. We're going to send this to Bill at Wilson Supply. And Bill will fulfill that order for us, and then we'll be able to go pick it up. Let's hit back. Now, just as a disclaimer, you do need having options like maintenance plans, purchase orders, financing. Those are things that do need to be set up and then you would use later. But if you are in onboarding right now, you're going to make the switch soon. You do not have to use maintenance plans right away. You don't have to offer financing right away. So typically for teams that are just starting, you will be doing running appointments, making proposals and invoices, taking payments, doing the basics. And then in the future, you can evolve into using all of the features that are here. The last thing that we will show before we get into our Q&A is the settings. If you go to settings all the way at the bottom right, you can update your theme. You can make it light mode or dark mode based on your preferences. You can update your profile photo. And if you're going to go into a service area that you know for a fact does not have service, your device won't be connected to the internet. And if you are trying to create a proposal or invoice, you won't have access to the cloud. So you won't have access to your price book, meaning you can't do your job. We have a solution for this. If you know you're going into a bad service area, you can just download the price book to your device. Then it's in your device. If you disconnect from service, you can still build out your proposals, use your price book, make your invoices. When you connect back to service, it will just sync back up. So that is up to you. And of course, if you do have any questions at all, the Help Center down at the bottom, you will tap on that and be able to just reach out to customer care. We have a chat, so it's like texting a friend. You just ask them questions and you can chat back and forth with customer care. All right. So that is all the information we have for today's presentation. I hope you guys learned something. We're going to shift to our Q&A now, but just want to say thanks so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Mobile App Advanced Training.